Hello, how are you? My name is Susan Ngatia. I'm a counseling psychologist. And today I would like us to talk about something that is very close to my heart. And especially during this time when the country, not actually the country alone, but even globally, we've been going through a pandemic, and I don't need to mention it. And we are looking at how has the coronavirus, how has the pandemic affected or has it infected relationships, especially marital relationships? If you look at our country today, as the numbers continue to go up, we are coming from a time when we've been on a lockdown, we've been in isolation, and this has not left our relationships the same. On one hand, we've had marital relationships being affected positively. And one of the ways that it has been affected positively is through families have become very close to one another. Parents have been available more for their children. Couples are available for each other. There's been an increase more on, you see families even working together in the estate. We see families talking more. These are positive things that the Covid-19 has brought to us and even to our country and even globally. So there are positive things that the pandemic has brought. Families have been close, where sometimes even parents have had time to be able to spend time with their children, especially on academic issues. We used to be told a long time ago by our children how we don't know anything. The teacher is the last one who knows mathematics, the math concepts. But today we have parents who are so involved in those mathematical concepts as parents homeschool at home. And children have actually discovered that our parents know so much about their schoolwork. On the other hand, we've had the pandemic affect us also, especially marital relationships have been affected negatively. And you may wonder, how comes? And if you were to go through several things that, as I said earlier on, things that have happened, we've had all of us go through some kind of anxiety as a result of not knowing, am I going to contract the virus? Am I going to infect my children? Am I going to infect my parents? Should I visit my parents or not? That is a state of anxiety that we have gone through. Needless to say, sometimes you feel, even when you get a small cold, you just assume that you actually gotten the virus. We've had families and couples wonder whether they are still employed or whether they are going to keep their jobs. Are they going to be retrenched? That's another area which is a stress area for couples, because they wonder, am I going to be on half salary? Some of us are on loans. What happens to that loan? What happens to taking care of parents back at home for those of us who support our parents? There are other issues which we have gone through, financial insecurities, caregiving, especially of parents, as I said, in the villages, juggling about housework, where as you go to sit down at your desk to work from home, you have maybe things to do at home. You need to juggle between the children, schooling, you need to juggle between that and even being able to deliver. So there is more that couples and families are going through just because we are working from home. And because of that, then because we didn't plan to be where we are today. We were caught unawares. As a result, this definitely, whether we like it or not, affects the way we relate with each other. Because if I am completely stressed, there's a way in which I'm going to react to situations, even small issues in the family. If my spouse is affected, or if my spouse is stressed, also he might maybe react differently, and many times it can be negatively. And so these things, as couples go through this, it has affected some relationships very, very negatively. And you may ask, what should we do? What should couples do? What are some nuggets? What are some tips that we need to be able to help ourselves as couples to swim upstream, so to speak. What can we do to help ourselves, because we are operating at stress level. Many times when you go to work, it gives us opportunity to be able to get off home and come back, and there's a sense in which you feel you're looking forward to be with spouse. But now we are spending more time at home and less time with friends, because sometimes you spend time at home. Sometimes when things are thick, you can get out and go and speak to friends. But now with the pandemic, we are finding ourselves, we are spending at home, and that's it. If I have to visit a friend, I have to visit them online, and we just have to speak on the phone, and these things have caused a lot of distress, especially to family relationships. But what can we do differently? And I'm going to give maybe about four things, and they are not exhaustive, but at least they can help us. And people say, in fact, before I go to that, people say, like in China, in one of the provinces, after they opened in March, there were so many people who are filing divorce. In fact, in one of the social media channels, there were about 32 million views on the topic of divorce, which is in China, and this is in March after they opened. And so they found that very surprising. Needless to say, in another forum in the States, like in the 80s, there was a hurricane, and again, the media is saying that after that hurricane happened, there were so many people who filed for divorce because of some of these issues. After a pandemic has passed, what happens is that some couples find it very hard to live with each other. And part of it is also because they are not able to handle the situation with maybe pre-existing vulnerabilities that they had before the pandemic. And so these things then force people to be able to move towards divorce. Somebody would rather be able to live alone. But what can we say? And one of the things that psychologists believe is that we should actually pick our battles, because people are in a stressed kind of a mode. Mothers are in a stress mode. Fathers are in a stress mode. One of the things is to pick our battles. What do I mean by picking our battles? Even if I'm annoyed in the house because of something that my spouse did, I don't have to pick a quarrel over every wrong, over every issue, or over every idiosyncrasy. I don't have to pick a fight. I can be able to choose my battle and say, I don't have to raise that one. I can live with that. And by doing that, what happens is that then you lessen friction. You're not spending time at home just resolving conflicts. Another issue is that has been suggested is actually finding me time as many times as possible in the house during the day. It is said that if you have a house which is more than one bedroom or two bedroom, a husband can take one room and the wife can take another, if you don't have to get out, and somebody can be able to get some time alone. If that is not possible, even wearing headphones draws a boundary that I'm involved in my own me time, and I want to spend that time alone. And so what happens is that then when you spend time alone, you feel recharged, or you recharge yourself, you recharge your battery, you feel that I don't have to engage all the time. So that even when I come back, I'm not feeling angry, I'm not having shouting at people. I've recharged my battery. I'm easier to relate with. Another tip that has been suggested and found to be very beneficial is the issue of just connecting as couples, even during the day. And you can give it like 20 minutes, not serious time all the time, where couples are just talking about the stress of the country, they are watching TV, stressing news, they are talking about children, how it is not homeschooling is not working. But having 20 minutes each day to connect with your spouse over small things, we call it like simple talk, where you are not stressed. You're talking about things that are, we call them sweet nothings. You're just talking. And that really helps couples to feel that things are not necessarily very serious. In fact, if you can be able even to walk around, if you can if you live in an estate or even you live near a road, being able to even connect with each other as you walk, as you do an activity, even like walking, you can go for a jog together. These are things that would help you to connect. Sometimes people say even having sex, even as couples, it forces couples to be able to connect with each other, because you have to talk. If there's a conflict, you need to talk even before sexual intercourse. And so these are things that help couples may help couples during a moment like this when we all feel so stressed. Sometimes we can find, we've been told that we can try a hobby. We've had many ladies do better now that we are more home. Just being able to revamp your kitchen garden, being able to grow some things, some spices that you're not growing before, and that is something that is exciting, that helps you to do something that you like. We've had some projects men can be able to do, to find as a hobby, instead of just sitting down in the house and feeling as if you're trapped. You can actually get out and do something, a hobby, depending on what things that excite you, things that help you to feel that I don't have to be in the house all the time. Concentrating on serious things. Find a hobby that you can be able to do. We are told that we need to remove our pajamas. If you wake up and you feel that I don't want to wake up, it's good to wake up, remove your pajamas and put on and shower and dress well and get involved in something active, because what that does, it helps you to feel I'm living purposefully. Physical exercise has never been emphasized during this time. And why do we need it? We need it every day so that we can be able to strengthen our feel-good hormones in the body, so that when we feel down, then we have an up. When we exercise, we feel a sense of excitement, a sense of feeling good about myself, even during this time when things are very tough. And so these are just a few tips that we can try. We can try to help us to see how to improve our own sense of well-being, how I can be able to self-care, take care of myself, so that I can be able to be a better spouse to my husband or to my wife. And so I want to end it there today. And next time we'll be talking about how can we be able to improve our own communication with our children at home.